afternoon. It is Wednesday, March 5th, and it's the day after the most recent State of the Union show. Um, just had some thoughts to offer up. And as is often the case, it's more about venting and just getting the stuff off my chest before I pop. But, some of you might be interested in hearing it. Anyway, so I did not watch the State of the Union. I seldom do. They just make me want to throw things at the TV, which makes my wife upset. She doesn't want to hear me screaming at the TV and see me throwing things. So I waited, as I often do, and looked at clips of it later. So I haven't seen the entire thing. I'm sure there's some things you could tell me about that I didn't see. But just a few things that have stood out for me. The behavior of the Democrats, as my friend Wally and I discussed today, it seems that since this most recent election and Trump's winning, that the Democrats have just, more so than before, have just lost their damn minds. These people have just gone beyond stupid. The things they do and say, you just have to scratch your head and ask, what the hell are you thinking? Now, keep in mind that these are the same people who recently lost their minds over Donald Trump and J.D. Vance meeting with Zelensky of Ukraine in the White House, and the Democrats fell all over themselves, couldn't wait to point out how rude, how unprofessional, how disrespectful Trump and Vance were to the leader of another nation. The leader of another nation. Now, listen to what they said regarding that meeting, and then compare that to their own behavior during the State of the Union address. Any irony in that to you? You might say, well, Floyd, the Republicans do the same thing, blah, blah, and Marjorie Taylor Greene and all those others and the things they've done. I said, yep, you're absolutely right. The decorum of Congress, the State of the Union, and other gatherings has been sorely lacking. So, Democrats, are you going to set the precedent? Are you going to show us how it's supposed to be done? Are you going to show us how professional, respectful people behave? Or are you just going to let the whole thing devolve into a mess? Pick one. Because if you're going to just continue on the track you're on now, if you're going to keep doing what you're doing and saying what you're saying and not try to elevate the decorum and not try to behave more professionally and more respectfully, then sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. That's right. I said it. Does that make you mad? Liberals, Democrats, do something about it. Get so tired of your stupid shit. Yeah, it's okay for you to do it, but if anybody else does it, oh, no, we're going to have to stand against that. Your little signs waving around like a bunch of little 6-year-olds. Then you treat the president of your country the way you did. When I saw Al Green waving his cane around, I couldn't help but get images in my mind of Preston Brooks, Bully Brooks, South Carolina congressman who whooped up on a Yankee congressman prior to the American Civil War. And read about it. I'm sure some of you already know about it, but most of you are ignorant of American history, so you might have to look it up. Preston Brooks, South Carolina. And I just thought, man, wouldn't it be something if we had a cane duel on the floor? But that's what you're dealing with. So it's okay when, you disrespect your own president, but if Trump and Vance tell the apparently self-entitled Zelensky, who thinks he's owed something, and they tell him to pound sand, well, you can't do that. That's disrespectful. He's the leader of a nation. Blah, blah, blah. Shut up. Just shut up. Then I heard Rachel Maddow, that grotty little word rhymes with Hunt, talking about how disgusting that display was where Trump had the 13-year-old DJ Daniel, the brain cancer survivor, made a honorary Secret Service agent. Wow, Doge is cutting spending for cancer research. All right, two things. All right, you heard me earlier saying State of the Union show. Look, this is not exclusively a Donald Trump thing. This has been going on for years. Democrats and Republicans both do it. It's a show. It's like, look at me, look at what I'm doing, look at what I'm going to do, look at the wonderful people I'm willing to recognize, yada, yada, yada. I get it. They both do it. It's a show. It's about looking at me, and this is the great and wonderful things I'm doing. So let's not act like this is strictly a Donald Trump thing, okay? That, again, is part of the problem. You guys seem to think anything the Democrats do is A-okay. Of course, if the Republicans do it, they're evil. You're all idiots. So she's upset about that. Well, Rachel, I got a news flash for you. If you think that the money, whether private donations from you and me or government funding that you're worried about Doge cutting, is actually going to research for a cure for cancer, you are an idiot. You're beyond stupid. You haven't been paying any attention. You're delusional. Shut up. You're a journalist. You have access to all sorts of sources of information. Hey, Rachel, why don't you do this? You want to help people understand what's going on in the country? Why don't you dig into where all that money actually goes? What are they actually researching? What have they discovered? What are they doing with those discoveries? Are they really looking for a cure for cancer? Do you think that's what they're doing? So, if you're not going to come up with a story telling us where that money's really going and what it's really being used for, then just shut up. You're wasting everyone's time, and you're just acting like a little child on the playground who's mad because somebody took the swing before you got to it. DJ Daniels, bless his heart. Look, as someone who's survived 2 different cancers myself, I can appreciate what the kid's going through. Now, again, cancer, but it wasn't brain cancer that I dealt with. But it can be pretty damn scary. And for a kid who's been dealing with it for 6 years or more, that's pretty damn frightening. And I can't even imagine what his parents are going through. And so you Democrats who didn't stand, didn't applaud, look, what would it have hurt you, liberals, Democrats, to have simply stayed seated, but offered some applause? Good for you, DJ. We all know what it was about. We all know it was part of the show, but he was recognizing a kid who's been through some trauma in his life. Whatever the reason he chose to recognize that boy on that night is irrelevant. He did. And while the party lines, Republicans are applauding and cheering, And you idiots just sat there. This is Donald Trump's idea, and Donald Trump did this, so I'm not going to applaud for it. Well, why are you punishing the kid? You people who are so tolerant, so compassionate, so loving. The coexist crowd. You hate Donald Trump so much that you're going to punish the kid for that? Trump was right about one thing last night. I'll say this. I've been saying it for years. Donald Trump could rescue a puppy from the middle of the street, a car about to run over him, and Trump runs out and snatches the puppy and rolls out of the street and saves his life. And you'd still find something wrong with it. You want to hate Trump? Fine. I don't care. He's not one of my favorite people either. But you don't have to make up reasons to hate somebody. There are plenty of reasons to not like a lot of politicians. You don't have to make up stuff. But you do, don't you? Doesn't matter what he does, what he says, you're going to find something wrong with it. No matter how right he might be. God, I loathe you people so much. I don't know. I fancy myself good with words. I love to write, love to read. I don't mind speaking to people when I need to. But I don't know that there are words in the English language that would adequately describe how much I hate you people. I mean, just white hot loathing. God, you're so fucking stupid. And again, I said it before, and I'm going to say it one more time before I leave. You demand certain behaviors from others, and when it comes to decorum on the floor of Congress, that's fine. I get it. There should be certain decorum. There should be certain expectations for proper behavior. There are places and times where you can let your true feelings be known, like what I'm doing right now. You have access to the media. Lord knows the media's in your pocket, so shit, all you got to do is call a couple of reporters into your office, and you can go off on anything you want to. So why not save that for those times and on the floor of Congress? And this goes for both parties. Show some decorum. Show that you're grown-ups. Show that you have some sense. Democrats in particular set the precedent. If you want people to see what it looks like when professionals behave themselves properly, especially on the floor of Congress, then why don't you show us what that looks like? Here's some advice for you, for what it's worth. You want to make the Republicans look bad? Let them be the idiots. Let them be the ones misbehaving. Let them be the ones using bad decorum. And you show us what it looks like to exercise good decorum. But that's too hard for you, isn't it? That's like asking a 6-year-old to do that. They're going to look at you like you're crazy. And that's what you do. You don't want to set the standard. You don't want to set the precedent. You just want to get out there and wave your signs and call your names and call everyone you don't like a bigot, homophobe, sexist, whatever. So, once again, another State of the Union show comes and goes. The people who were expected to show their asses. And we're right back where we started. So, anyway, that's going to be it for now. I guess I've vented enough. But, do try to grow up, won't you?